have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little.
The world he created exists for itself.
And so, my fellow nerds, ask not what your fandom can do for you, ask what you can do for your fandom.
Do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
That clip always gets me. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have a special state of Star Wars tonight. I was going to run solo. I was going to do some solo streaming, and I got a text from a beautiful human being, somebody you may know and love. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
What is up, everybody? Glad to be here at the Hangar Bay. Just tell me what to do. I'm ready.
It's been a minute, man.
Has it?
No. It feels like it's been a minute. I don't know. Didn't we do a late night where everybody was off the walls and we were talking about collectibles? And
yes, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Matt Rissman let me out of the Rissman-based dungeon tonight, so here I am.
Have you seen Ronnie's video, his recent video?
Oh, my God. Free Echo Base. Hashtag Free Echo Base. Hilarious.
He does good stuff, man.
He really does.
Funny. He deserves a little bit more credit. What's up, chat? How's everybody doing tonight? I saw Tim Talks is in here, Tevin Daniels, Alan Copeland, my good friend. Good to see you, buddy. Obviously, Rissman Base is in here as well. T. Davidson, good to see you. The man himself, Ronnie, Darth Wizzy Wizard, Flacco Zoldy?
I love that man.
Yeah.
Flacco Zoldy.
Georgie Girl is in here. Leia Rose, as always, good to see you. Showroom Sabers is in here. He's going to freak out because we're probably going to talk some collectibles. Oh, who else do we got here? Resolute Rebellion, good to see you. Spencer Keefe is here. Shalom. Good to see you, buddy. We usually see you under a very, very different name, but good to see you. Stanley's is here. Good to see you. Let's get into it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so unlike you guys over at Echo Base, where I get, like, when I come on, there's a transcript of what we're going to go over, everything that we're going to talk about. It's all planned and beautiful and polished and amazing. I don't do that. And I kind of wish I did, but I just don't do that. We're kind of going to free ball it tonight. So there's a bunch of things that I want to talk about.
I got the first ball.
Yeah, with you, I think this is going to be interesting. So there's two things you can pick from right now. So first off is going to be Ahsoka leaks or rumors or Acolyte set photo reveals.
Okay. I'm going to pick C, and I'm going to say Mark Hamill just liked my tweet.
Oh. I forgot about that. You told me about that like 45 seconds ago. That's right.
It's a big deal.
I want to see it.
It's a big deal to us. Okay. Let me do this. You know, an old man in technology, I swear.
There you go, buddy.
Tweet. There it is. All right. Likes. Oh, yeah. All right. Share. Present.
Yeah, let's see that. Man, Luke Skywalker's in here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
All right. There it is.
You follow this guy on Twitter, Coach? Luke Skywalker?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, you got to follow this guy on Twitter.
All right.
He's got a whole mess of followers, too, but he just posts inspirational stuff every day under the name Luke Skywalker. It's amazing. I need it so bad. It's killer. Look at that.
There he is. It was my tweet yesterday was liked by 7 people, and 16.67% of that was Mark Hamill.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So
how cool is that?
Look, I said taking a look back to when Luke Skywalker and at Mark Hamill returned to Star Wars, great moment. And I posted the montage.
Yeah.
And he liked it. And I'm
Dude.
like, look, when your hero likes something, like that's a connection that before social media, you could only dream of.
Yeah.
And when it happens, it's like, oh my gosh, my childhood hero just went to my post and clicked the like button. That
is kind of crazy. Like you had action figures, that dude.
Yeah, he was always my first pick. It's crazy.
Yeah, some dude. So I mean, you remember the tweet that he put out? I think it was like last week or a couple days ago, where somebody had asked him about the 5th anniversary of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and
so I had gotten into an argument with some dude on the internet because he said that's not his @. I
saw
it himself. I'm like, what the fuck
I saw
are you
your
talking about.
I saw all that.
You saw that?
You had me rolling. You were like,
Facebook, wasn't it?
Yeah, the guy was like, it's
Hamill himself.
Hamill himself.
Yeah.
And you were like, he changed it. And like, I can't believe I'm arguing this with you.
Don't come at me with this. I know what's going on. More.
It's hilarious. Yep. You went mute, buddy. Sorry. Yeah, you're muted. I can't hear you. But I hear the music. Me and Matt Risman dancing in the cantina.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Man, yeah, I don't usually do that with like my personal Facebook. Because people dig. They dig and they dig and they dig, and it's never good.
Yeah. But anyways, I was blown away. This just happened like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. I called Nick. I posted it on our community. Then I told you about it. And then I invited myself onto your show. And here I am.
It was the best thing you could have done. Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm very excited, man. That is really, really cool. There are a couple times I've tried to reach out and get him to talk to me. And it's not happening. It's not going to happen. You never know.
Yeah. Yep. Very true.
All right. So option C, look at that. Echo Base Network making moves out in the internet world, getting tweets liked by Mark Hamill. Some people are like, so what? He liked to post. Like, you have no idea. You saw what happened with Josh and James Gunn. Like, any interaction from that side of the world is good, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay.
I know what you mean.
All right. So now comes the not as fun part. Let me pull up the screen here. Well, it depends. I guess it depends. It depends on how you feel about this. It depends on what you think about all these different things. Now, you were not a prequels guy for a very long time, right?
It just depends on how you define it. I always liked Revenge of the Sith. And I liked a lot of Attack of the Clones. I was never a fan of The Phantom Menace. But yeah, when I watched The Clone Wars, it took the prequels to me from a C to an A minus.
Ooh, damn, dude, that's a big state. That's a big old jump.
Yeah. Well, and it's the thing. Like, people get this all messed up when you're talking about fandom in movies and cartoons.
Yeah.
Something doesn't have to be perfect and great for me to love it.
It's just gotta be good.
I love some movies that other people just don't love. I don't care what anybody else, what somebody
else. What's your love
else
to hate movie? What's the movie that like you don't want people to know that you love it, but you love it? It's Phantom Menace.
That's it for you?
No, for you.
Gosh, man. Now I can't think of a good enough example, because if I say something, it's going to be like, oh, a lot of people like that movie.
Dude,
The Black Hole.
Mario.
The Black Hole.
Okay, Black Hole. All right, mine's Super Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
it. That movie was
Tiny Headed
awful.
Goombas. Yeah, it was
awful.
terrible. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore it. It's there's just like so much nostalgia connected to that. I just, it's amazing. Yeah, we're gonna forgive him a little bit. Look, Episode 1 is probably one of the greatest Star Wars movies of all time. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's only 6, so
Look at how did the CG in that. I think it was the pod racing and the Duel of Fates that just it sealed it for me. Like 2 of my favorite moments in Star Wars.
oh.
You calling that an L take, Duel of Fates?
Oh no. I was looking at Nick's chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. I was looking at Darth Wizzy.
That's a no story. That's a no story. I'll tell y'all later.
Okay.
You're funny, Nick. So this is a hot take and a very unpopular opinion in Star Wars.
Okay.
I don't know how to say this. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. You're gonna look at me different, I think. Even worse than you do already.
Oh.
I have never, since the first time I saw it, I have never, not one time in my life, enjoyed not 1% of the pod racing scene. I love Duel of the Fates. It is some of the best Star Wars you will ever see.
I don't understand.
I know. I get it. Like I am so used to everybody loving the pod race, and I'm just sitting there like the lonely kid in the corner. Like I don't get it.
How do you not, dude? This doesn't make sense. I feel like hold on. We gotta hold up.
I don't know how Nick feels.
We gotta
about
have a
that.
conversation here. What do you mean you don't like the pod racing scene?
It just doesn't do anything for me.
Not the audio, the visuals, the speed, the sound.
Production is always great with Lucasfilm. They're gonna that's a given. I'm just talking about like when you're watching a scene in Star Wars, it's like, wow, I love the Battle of Hoth. Mm-hmm. Wow, I love the indoor space battle. Wow, I love the attack on the first Death Star.
Uh-huh.
The pod race is so far down the list in Star Wars moments. Like it's at the bottom for me.
There's always like defining moments in each Star Wars movie, right? So like I'll always call Duel of the Fates and the pod race for Episode 1. Episode 2, obviously the Battle of Geonosis, really big moment. Episode 3, obviously you have the Battle of the Heroes, Battle over Coruscant.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of the list?
Yeah. Like I'm just not like a racing kind of person. I don't guess.
From the South. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that means nothing. I don't deer hunt either. Okay, X-wing.
You ain't want to know NASCAR, man.
I don't go fish.
What? That's right. You frisbee golf. I forgot.
Exactly. So yeah, I get everybody's like I'm looking at the chat and they're like, man, I don't get Coach doesn't like the pod race.
It makes no sense.
There's really nothing about that movie until Duel of the Fates that I really like a lot. Ironically enough, I loved the Phantom Menace game that came out on PC and PlayStation. I loved it.
You're so backwards.
It was a great game. But the movie, like until Qui-Gon says stay in the cockpit, the movie's a C-. And then boom, A+. Is the moment those doors open and Maul is standing there, that's Star Wars perfection. It gives me chill bumps when I think about it.
That's so funny because so many people. I'm getting off track again. I want to address. We're going to continue addressing this here in a second. But Showroom Sabers for $9.99. Thank you so much, bro. It's very, very generous of you. In the middle of packing for a move to a new apartment, needed this. Much love, X-Wing. Coach, I've talked with X about a live stream idea for my channel. Would love to discuss it with EBN as the original trilogy generation. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Send the boy a message.
Reach out to us. We'll do anything.
Yeah. Dude, all of you guys and myself, everybody, like we're always down to go on anybody's channel and do anything. We were all charity cases at one point. Thank you very much, Showroom Sabers. I appreciate it, buddy. This one's for you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your younglings. I got to catch up on a little bit of chat here.
Good.
Oh, buddy. Oh, Okay, that's an L take. Welcome,
Hey,
Small Town
having
Republic.
the actor that played Jace on our live stream was a win.
I remember
for us.
that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool. That was really cool. Zombie Box Reviews, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you here. I don't know who this guy is. Never seen that. Nova Vaughn, good to see you. Just trying to catch up with everybody that's come in recently here. Phillips here, what's up? Both of you have such cool rooms. The passion is strong. Mine's cooler.
Thanks, bro. It is.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's pretty cool. Yours is more expensive.
I gave up. Like I'll just try to keep it clean at this point and not cluttered.
It's
But
so
you don't have
cluttery in here.
you don't have a dead King Charles Cavalier on your chair.
No, it looks like this place looks like I keep this section pretty clean, but like on the backside where you can't see, it looks like a Star Wars hoarder lives here. It's
I
just,
hear you.
It's unacceptable.
Thank you, Philip.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wait. We're gonna get there. All right, I forgot where we left off.
L take, pod race. I'm from the South.
Oh, so that one stuck. Huh?
Yeah.
No, so it's so funny because we've been, so many people have been talking about Andor and how, the stupid younger generation of Star Wars just wants lightsabers and pew pews and loud noises and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of Star Wars fans love that. It's Star Wars.
We watched the documentary series on Spike TV. What was it called? It's the one where they had Marshall Lucas a lot. Marshall Lucas sat down and was interviewed. Somebody help me out. It was called
Is that when she talked about saving
Icons Unearthed. Icons Unearthed was the name of it. Icons Unearthed Star Wars. And she talked at length about George Lucas was about to make a tremendous error in Star Wars with the first movie. He on
was
the
it New Hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the advice of Brian De Palma, he was eliminating the Force. He was getting rid of "May the Force be with you." He was getting rid of all talk of the Force. He was doing away with it. And Marsha told him what a tremendous error that was. And without even his approval, she went back into the editing room and put all of "May the Force be with you" and everything back in the movie.
Good move. Smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just did, it's so funny. People have said, like, about our channel, well, y'all don't do lore videos. Y'all just do new stuff. And I'm like, that's not true. I'll show them. So I did a lore video today.
Nice.
I did a 7-minute long video about what is the Force. And, we used to do lore videos all the time. Honestly, they didn't perform very well, and we just kind of stopped. But if people want to watch them, if 50 people want to watch it, I'll make it for you. So
it's there.
So I did a lore video on the Force, and I understand people who, the younger generation that you're talking about, they just want their pew-pews and their lightsabers. Ironically enough, they're talking about me. Because
isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Because that's what I want. And so what is Star Wars to you? And like people saying, watching Andor, saying this isn't Star Wars to me. I understand where they're coming from, and they're welcome to have that opinion. I personally, like Nick would disagree with me. I don't think it's fair to say that. It's okay to have Star Wars from a different lens. Star Wars without, when we watch Star Wars movies, how many space battles did you see in the prequels?
Right.
How many great space battles did you see in the prequels? I didn't see a single great one. Sorry.
You about to never come back on here. You understand what I'm saying? Okay.
When you eliminate one aspect of the movie, say it's the Force or lightsaber fights or space battles or the music or the whatever, it's okay to have one missing if it's done on purpose, but don't put it aside forever. The people who loved Andor that said, I loved it because there were no Jedi and there was no Force. I don't think that's because they hate the Jedi or hate the Force. I think it's because they like the uniqueness of Andor. And it was that. And I think that's a very fair thing.
Well, that's the way they wrote it, because Diego Luna was just on an interview with another YouTuber. It was like the Sith podcast or something like that. And, he said, when I sat down and Tony Gilroy and I talked about this, it's supposed to be a Star Wars story about your next door neighbor. Exactly. It's not the big fantasy,
Mm-hmm. And I love that. And we're going to see what the Skeleton Crew is going to be all about, because it might be a lot of the same. This is literally kids on a field trip to the new beyond. How much Force are we going to get on a field trip with Jude Law as their teacher? Sounds like a horrible plot. I know. Yeah, it sounds like an 80s Hallmark movie or something.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they're going to get into some shenanigans and stuff like that, but the way that they're pitching this so far and everything that I've heard about it, I'm just not interested at all.
It's part of the Mandoverse, and it's part of Favreau's major scope. So I'm going to say he's going to pull it off.
Yeah, interesting to see how that plays out. What do these little kids have to do with this big cinematic event that's probably never going to happen at this point? You never know, but I don't know. For me, I've approached a point kind of in Star Wars YouTube and my view towards Star Wars in general, where I had so much apathy towards the things that are coming out that are new. I'm starting to sink into my own shell of what I used to have, and I don't look forward to anything new. And that's terrible, man.
That's so along those same lines. Nick and I did a chill stream last night, and we've been very frustrated with our channel, and we've been very frustrated with Star Wars, and we've never been like, you should feel like us. I want everybody to have their own. I don't want anybody to feel like me.
Yeah.
And Andor was just okay to me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was very in the middle, which is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But because of that, and my passion was a little lower, I didn't make content for our people. And that is a fair criticism that I got last night in the stream. One of our people said, y'all's attitude about Andor turned off a lot of people, and you stopped making content for your audience. And I'm like, dang, he's right. That's exactly, I've had that in my head, but I couldn't articulate it. And he did it for me.
Yeah, but you don't want to be fake about it either. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's exactly the conversation that Nick and I had, because Nick's like, I'm going to be authentic. I said, bro, that's not what it's about. Take yourself out of the equation. Make a montage video of the last episode, the best parts. Talk about what you think's going to happen next, or whatever. You don't have to love it to do that. And ironically enough, I made a big, long 20-minute montage of the best Star Wars we got in 2022. And it featured the 3 live-action shows, Andor, Book of Boba Fett, and Kenobi.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of those shows. But I made a montage in X-Wing. I swear, dude, by the time I got done with the montage and I got all the best scenes I could find in every episode, I went through and handpicked every scene of the 20-minute video, and I put them all in their places. And I did my little coach montage thing, and I got the music going with it. It gave me freaking chill bumps, and I didn't even like the shows.
Well, there have been good moments in the shows. I don't think anybody's arguing that. There have been good moments in the shows, but I'm not willing to just be like, yeah, it's good because we get a couple nuggets here and there. You know what I mean? And I can almost promise you, I haven't watched it yet, but I'll go back and watch it. Was a lot of it some Memberberry stuff? There were some Memberberry moments?
No, I'll tell you, so when I watched, here's an example. when I watched the Andor episode where they were breaking out of the jail,
Mhm.
it didn't move me like it did everybody else. Everybody else was like, "Oh, one way out," and everybody's going nuts about it. The whole internet was ablaze, about it. I didn't feel it was like a pod race to me,
That's kind of where I was at.
So, but when I made this video, and at the tense moment where the music's ratcheted up, and then you see them, it cuts right to them running down the hallway, screaming "one way out," and then they go jumping off into the water. Oh, so good, so good. So yeah, it's.
And then they had to ruin it with, "I can't swim." That badass character. That's how he goes out. "I can't swim."
You fucking nerd.
Oh,
It just, I don't know. Yeah, so that's the problem for me is like, I've noticed over I've only been really covering, obviously I've been taking part of Star Wars for the majority of my life, but I've only really been covering stuff since post Rise of Skywalker.
mm-hmm.
And without fail, every single time I get excited about something in Star Wars, 5 seconds later, there's a and something has to ruin it. And I'm not looking for something bad. I'm not looking for I want. When you work as hard as you work to create a community on the internet, to make a YouTube channel, to spend the time editing, doing live streams, engaging with everybody, why would you want the content that you're covering to fail? Unless you're really if you're super grifty, then yeah, awesome, good for you. Make that content, but it sucks being negative all the time. I don't like it. It's super draining. I'd rather be super pumped.
So that's so funny. Like, I was telling my wife the other day that I'm just letting everybody in on the behind the scenes at Echo Base, okay? Because I think we all kind of go through this as a content creator. You go through. It's just like anything else. It's like any type of relationship. You're gonna have it's ebbs and flows, and when it's down, I'm like, I was complaining to her, like, man, I don't even want to go in there and talk about Star Wars right now. Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she basically kind of said what you were just saying a second ago. And she said, you need to change your focus. It doesn't need to be about Star Wars. It needs to be about the people at your channel. And I was like, ooh, hit me in the gut. She was so right. She was right. Of all people to motivate me, my wife nailed it. Like, she was absolutely right. No, that's daughter.
Oh, that's daughter.
Come here. We're live on YouTube. There's my daughter in her pajamas. Hang on. What?
She gonna kill you.
What's that? No. Not that I'm aware of. Okay. All right. Yep. So, anyways,
they have tracking info on packages now.
I know. Yeah.
She's supposed to be the one that's good at that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so that kind of brings us neatly into a really interesting conversation, because now you got a prequel guy, you got an OT guy, and the Ahsoka leaks about what might be going on in the show. So I don't really know how to feel about this. Now, I was talking to Obsession, who absolutely psychotic Ahsoka fan.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus's Ahsoka rumored to include an alternate ending for Revenge of the Sith. What's right off the bat when you read that title? What's your thoughts?
I'm not happy with that.
But why? Tell us about your feelings, Coach.
Because nothing that Lucas made on screen should ever be changed.
Agreed.
That's my ultimate. That's really the main and only thing for me. Don't change. And I'll go as far to say this. I wish he didn't change things.
Right.
I look back at the special edition and I'm like, no. And kind of a little off topic, but not really. Like the whole Anakin at the end of Return of the Jedi, when they put Hayden Christensen in.
Right.
it was cool the first time I saw it, but I never liked it after that because I want to see Sebastian Shaw, the face of Anakin at the end. But then, lore people, they go, hey, hold on. He should be Hayden Christensen. He should be Anakin. And they go into all the reasons why. And I read all those reasons. I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. But I still want it to be the old guy. Like,
yeah. I actually feel like as much Anakin is like, he and Obi-Wan are right next to each other in prequels as like my top tier guys, right? But at the same time, I want to see Sebastian at the end because it shouldn't be when he turned to the dark that we see him back at the end of the movie. It should be when he turned to the light at the end of the movie that we see him in his Force Ghost.
I agree with that.
When did he change? It's when he turned back to the light, and that's why he's a Force Ghost. So that's where I'm at with that one. With this, it's a little tough because I'm with you 100%. Like, yes, do not change what he did on screen. But at the same time, they're technically not changing what Lucas did on screen. They're using the world between worlds to give us a what if scenario.
Right.
But it's going to suck.
So, I mean, do we know anything besides that? Just that's what they're doing? Are there any more details about this?
It would be a what if where Ahsoka went to Mustafar instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Say again?
It would be a what if.
Oh, okay. I remember that. I did read that.
Ahsoka would go instead.
Yeah.
And what kind of different conversation would you be having between Ahsoka and Anakin comparatively to having Obi-Wan talking to Anakin? So Obi-Wan just kind of gave up on him. He's like, bro, I'm going to kill you. It's like, do you will try.
Yeah. So I read something. Yeah, right, Risman. I read something about the Ahsoka show, and they're saying that, which is a total contradiction to me. This blows me away. I don't understand this at all. This is so beyond my intellect. I'm not going to lie.
Aren't you a teacher?
Yeah. This makes no sense to me, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to say it like the article said it, and I'll let you react. The world between worlds is used in the Ahsoka series to show Ahsoka that she could not escape her destiny.
Okay.
How does that make sense? When everything we know about the world between worlds allows you to change your destiny.
True.
Go back to the Rebels cartoon. That's the whole thing about it. He could have saved Kanan Jarrus if he wanted to.
All right, but let me play devil's advocate here. You saw the movie Butterfly Effect?
Oh, gosh, it's been a long time.
You remember, though? He could go back and he could change whatever he wanted. Didn't matter. Same thing was always going to happen. In 1,000 different scenarios, it was always going to happen the way it did. And that's why they can't rewrite Revenge of the Sith. That's why they can't change anything, because Anakin, the chosen one, everything that was supposed to happen happened the way it was supposed to happen. And they can't change that. I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to be honest with you. I just convinced myself that was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, I'm going to have to see the show, obviously, because for them to say everything that we find out about this, the world between worlds is being used to show Ahsoka cannot escape her destiny. Well, what destiny is that? We don't even know what that destiny is.
For once in a Star Wars project, we don't know how it ends.
We don't. We don't.
Yeah. There's, 50% of me is like, I don't think I'm going to like the show. It's a lot of Filoni. I've got some issues with Filoni. The other 50% of me is like, dude, we could see some really cool stuff here. I mean, we know that we've got a younger Ahsoka cast, so we're definitely going to see a Hayden Christensen Clone War era with a young Ahsoka some kind of scene. I don't know what it's going to be, but...
Well, how about the people, and I've been amongst these people for a long time, that's hoping and praying that the world between worlds is going to give us an alternate timeline. Well, it's not.
Yeah, they already said it.
That's over. Like, if you think that because we're getting the world between worlds, that means the sequels are not going to be part of the story, that's not happening. Like, get that out of your minds. That's over. That ship has sailed. Especially when they double down and say she cannot change her destiny. It is World Between Worlds is essentially just to let her know that. So I don't know, man. I am excited about the show, and here's the thing: you already know this. I really like Ahsoka. I love the Clone Wars cartoon. Definitely my favorite of all the animated shows. I love the character. I love Ashley Eckstein. I'm a fan of Rosario Dawson now. I thought that was a fabulous episode.
She's done great.
I loved seeing Ahsoka and Luke together in the Book of Boba Fett. Nick talks about it all the time. I need to see that initial meeting.
Exactly. We need to know. Yes, I agree. 100%.
That's Star Wars.
I hope that's like the first thing that they do in Ahsoka.
I need to see Campfire with Luke, Ahsoka, and Anakin showing up.
Yeah.
And a conversation between the three of them. Oof. I don't think you can get more Star Wars than that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty badass. Which is so funny too, because a lot of us keep saying you need to get away from legacy characters, tell a new story. Like you, and I think it's because they keep messing up, basically.
Sure, of course, yeah.
But if they do it well, dude, that's gonna be Mandalorian Chapter 16 level.
No, so exactly. Nobody was saying that after 16.
Yeah.
Nobody was saying, get away from legacy characters. What? No, nobody was thinking that in December of 2020.
Yeah, the internet imploded.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Hey, look, dude, our channel went from 3,000 subscribers to 19,000 subscribers in a week because of Luke. Because of Luke. Okay? That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it weren't for Luke, we'd have 3,001 right now.
It created the buzz that was missing. I mean, honestly, when other than, the sequel trilogy, basically The Force Awakens, when has the buzz been? I would say actually probably the beginning of The Last Jedi. When has the buzz been around Star Wars like that?
Well, the buzz was there episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. And then we're watching and we're like, hang on a second.
Oh God.
This isn't the Mandalorian Chapter 17.
Yeah.
We I don't know, dude. The buzz has been, look, that's the bad thing to me. Everybody's not going to agree with this, but to me, Star Wars has been on a decline for the past 2 years.
100%.
And I don't want it to decline. I care about it and I love it, and I spend a great deal of my life talking about it and researching it. I'm very invested in it and I want it to be something. I don't want to see it fail. But yeah, it's been on a decline for 2 years, in my opinion. Isn't my dog cute? She is so stinking cute. Look at those little paws.
You haven't met my dog yet. I got to bring my dog in here at some point. Obi-Wan. He's a big old brown husky with 2 different colored eyes.
Nice.
Such a badass. Coach, I'm going to need you to hold it down for a second.
Okay, I got it.
Daddy's got to use the tinkle room. But I want you to, if you get a second here. Hold on, I want to pull up the really good one. There it is. Speak your mind.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. So he wants me to talk about this this Jedi Wookiee, I guess, that is this Skeleton Crew? I can't remember. It really doesn't matter, to be honest. No, it's not Skeleton Crew. This is what you call it? Acolyte? I don't remember. We reported on it. I talked about it. Acolyte. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So, hey, everybody, the Acolyte's coming. Welcome to the Hangar Bay, where everybody has a hangar. Get it? Get it? Gosh, I'm funny. Mark Hamill tweeted, he liked my video. And we got a new follower from it, I think. That's cool. And, yeah, can we put X on the sidelines and have Maddie Rissman in the stream? No. I don't have the power. Boba Fett fan film. Oh, y'all are a mess, man. But anyways, yeah. When Mark Hamill tweeted or liked our video, that brought me right back to the whole loving it. So I didn't have very much to say about the Acolyte leak. Like, I'll just have to see it. The whole Jedi Wookiee thingy. Yeah.
This is just so bad.
It looks like Game of Thrones right there, baby.
That's the thing.
Winter is coming.
I just don't even know how to approach this show. I mean, I've said it multiple times. I just don't like Leslie Headland as a person. This has nothing to do with like her writing styles. I've been told by people, hey, you need to watch like Russian Dolls. She did Russian Dolls, whatever. I just don't like her as a person. And then you put her in charge of a Star Wars project, and we have Katniss Everdeen, the lady from Brave, and then like a forked bow and arrow.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But
what are you doing?
But we got to give it a chance. And
I'm going to watch it.
We're going to watch it, and we might be pleasantly surprised. We've said it over and over again.
You optimist, you.
I usually am the optimist at EBN. You know that. Like,
yeah.
I'm the yin.
I don't feel like you're actually very yinny about this show.
No, I agree with you. I think that Leslie Headland has political agenda all over her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's a good person at all. I believe that she has created an agenda-laden cast. But all that being said, if they go to work and they make it about Star Wars and not that, you know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of bad people do a lot of good movies and things,
Yeah.
So just give us the Star Wars. So now, if they continue the whole agenda stuff, they're just going to further damage the brand, and we're just going to continue this slow decline until it's irrelevant.
It's death by 1,000 cuts right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And my question to you would be, really, if they were going to make something today, it's going to release in a week, and it was going to have you as hyped as you were, Chapter 16. That first episode, I'm staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm making videos until 7 a.m. What project would it be?
Well, I don't think I can compare anything and can't imagine anything like 16.
But a young Luke show?
If we got a Luke series or movie, or where they were able to, the answer to your question are the answers are things that are not possible. What would get me the most hyped?
I just saw Avatar 2. Nothing's impossible.
I don't know what that means.
Avatar 2.
Uh-huh.
It was a whole movie where people mocapped and we got giant blue aliens fighting RDA with giant space whales, and nothing's impossible.
Okay, all right. So
unless you're talking about actually literally bringing Carrie back from the dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's my answer, is give me the original cast. Give me the original. It's going to sound horrible. Give me the original threesome.
I mean, it was. They all kissed, right?
Yeah. Give me Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, R2, and 3PO.
Right.
On an adventure. That's none of us imagined walking into The Force Awakens that we weren't going to get that.
It's the highest of crimes.
It is. It's the dumbest move you could possibly do, and the only reason it happened is because J.J. Abrams was a coward. He didn't want to have to deal with what he was going to do with Luke, so he wrote Luke out of the movie.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the responsibility, so that's why he said, "I'm only doing one."
Should have gave it to me, man.
So, to answer your question, that's really the only thing. Like, for so many, since 1983, X-Wing, since 1983, we had waited to see Luke in a heroic fashion. That's what Hamill tweeted the other day. when he tweeted Peyton Reed.
Mm-hmm. It's good to see me back in a heroic light.
Light. Yes.
That was paraphrasing, but it was something like that.
But he used the word heroic.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see Luke the hero at all. You saw a little bit of one, but he wasn't even really there. And finally we got to see it, and so many people weren't expecting it because of the atmosphere that the sequels had created. Nobody was expecting Luke to walk in and
really blow the doors off the place.
Single-handedly save the Mandoverse by himself.
Yeah.
They all would have died in that room if Luke did not show up.
Just like Gideon said, you know what's going to happen. Those doors are going to open and everybody in here is going to be dead except for me and the kid.
Exactly.
And then Luke's like, nah, fam.
No, these are trash cans to me, buddy. Like, it's not a problem. So back to your question. That's what can get me excited. What we already mentioned. Luke doesn't need to be in Mando 3. Luke needs to be in Ahsoka. Give me Luke and Ahsoka on mission, using their abilities. Give me the Ahsoka that we saw in Mando chapter 12 or 13, whichever one it was, at the beginning of the film, where we were shocked. There she is, using her saber,
whooping ass,
cut a dude in half through the tree. Cut the tree in half too. Yeah. She was destroyed. She had people running away screaming in the woods.
Cutting the bell in half was dope too.
Imagine that Ahsoka with the same Luke that showed up in chapter 16. Them in a tandem fighting an enemy worthy of their union. And then mix in a Hayden Christensen appearance, and I'm going to be very excited.
Emotional damage.
That's my answer.
So that seems a lot more plausible than what I would recommend. They could totally do that, 100%. And to your point, it makes no sense to have Luke in Mando 3 because they ruined the whole Mando Luke Grogu thing in Book of Boba Fett. So pointless now. For me, what I would like to see, and what really drove me nuts, is that they brought back Tantus in Bad Batch. They brought back Mount Tantus, Joruus C'baoth, Luke, that whole thing. I would love to see, very much in the style of the way they did the Book of Boba Fett Luke, give us a show like that and give us Heir to the Empire. And I wouldn't even mind, if you want to save some money, I would be okay with recasting. I don't know what your idea is about recasting, but the chick who played Luthen's assistant in Andor is a perfect Princess Leia. Do you remember her?
I do.
She's like the perfect Princess Leia. She looks like her. She speaks like her. She would be absolutely perfect. Give us the same guy who did Luke with the de-aging, if you could do that, and give us Heir to the Empire.
I would love to see an Heir to the Empire animated series, live action series, whatever. Yeah, I would be excited about that as well. I would.
And there's so much debate about like what Lucasfilm would do, why they do the things they do, and they want to keep up with the canon of the sequels, and that's why they keep adding to this Mandoverse and stuff like that. Why can't you just give us a project that, fine, it's not canon. Call it a Legends movie.
You know, I'm going to go back and put my Fandom Menace badge on. Sorry, everybody.
You don't have to apologize here, but
I know, but I just...
We're mostly level-headed, but believe me, the Fandom Menace boys, we're here.
So, yeah, I'm a team member. I'm a proud member. Everything that I've said and everything that you said, the one thing that would excite me more than anything would be for the World Between Worlds to show us that the Mandoverse is in fact a different reality from the sequels. And if they did that, I'm not saying to decanon, I'm not saying to scratch them. There are people that love those sequel films. Not many of you, but there are some. And I don't want to see y'all get screwed either.
Not many in, I would say, our circles.
I agree.
Yeah. But normies?
So if they gave us an alternate reality, the way I thought that they did in Rebels, you know, I thought we saw an alternate reality with the World Between Worlds. If they gave us an alternate reality where the Book of Boba Fett and the Skeleton Crew and the Mandoverse and all of that If that, in fact, does not lead to The Force Awakens, then Star Wars can be fixed.
It's got 100%. It's going to lead there.
I agree.
So I think, you know, the tough pill we all kind of got to swallow is that it does. All roads lead back to the sequel trilogy. It's going to happen. That doesn't mean that we can't get good Star Wars, even though that happened.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
But it'll never be as good as it could have been.
Never be as good as it could have been. And that's my favorite argument when people say Kathleen Kennedy, her legacy is success because those movies made an ass pile of money. And I'm like, yeah, but if you stuck my wife, who knows nothing about Star Wars, in the same seat and said, hey, make some Star Wars movies, guess what? They're going to make a shit pile of money.
So
why? Because it's Star Wars. So I don't like that when we approach her legacy. It's not she made a bunch of blockbuster awesome movies.
Yeah.
It's that she made movies that sold a lot of money because it was Star Wars.
So the Luke that we saw in chapter 16, when I watched the end of The Force Awakens, when Rey is up on, and you have to forgive me, I'm not a sequel trilogy expert, so sorry. But when at the end of the film, when Rey shows up at the temple, you know, on top of that island, Mount Skellig, whatever. Yeah, thank you. So when she approaches Luke and Luke turns around and no words are said and then it cuts. There's nothing you could have done to convince me that in the next movie we weren't going to see Luke from chapter 16 in Mando.
Right. The call back to the light. He's got to fight. He's got to be.
If they had given us that, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
No, sir.
It would all be different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I mean, there, you know, that time and time again, we go back and we look at everything that Ryan said. And he's like, you know, hey, I wanted to subvert expectations. I didn't care if I pissed off half the fan base. Maybe they should have vetted a little bit better when it came to writing that, because we all know that the second movie is always the pivotal movie in a Star Wars trilogy, right? That's where all the important stuff happens. And so to take somebody who is so extremely okay. Oh my God, I'm getting messages everywhere. Did I say something wrong? To take somebody who's so absolutely fine being divisive to your core fan base is a bad business move. Am I mistaken? And then they talk about bringing him back for the next Star Wars project. It's like, dude, what are you thinking? Maybe he does make one of the greatest Star Wars movies of all time. People aren't going to go watch it because they don't like Rian Johnson. It's just a bad move. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yep, it's been a real bummer, but let not your heart be troubled, folks. Like X-Wing said just a moment ago, we're going to get some good Star Wars here and there, and I'm going to be ready for it when it happens.
Here and there. He's really excited for the 5-second clips. That's kind of what it feels like, man. You know, I hate to make the analogy, but it's almost like I'm a drug addict at this point. I'm willing to go through the drudges to get that one hit of Star Wars that I've been yearning for. You know, you'll wade through all the shit just to get that one little hit of what Star Wars used to feel like. It's horrible.
It is. It's depressing, honestly.
Hashtag fake fan. Live long with the Force. Somebody who I love dearly in my community. Somebody who's a big expanded universe fan. Who they're always my favorite Star Wars fans because they can appreciate everything, but also like kind of crap on the stuff that doesn't really make sense, because a lot of those expanded universe books, there's a lot of dredging and there's a lot of kind of wading through the BS to get to those awesome Star Wars moments. And I think a lot of EU fans really liked Andor because they're used to that kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of more calm, quiet stories to be had in the expanded universe, but Live long with the Force for $10. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Merry Christmas, X-Wing and Coach. And here's to hoping 2023 is a better year for Star Wars.
Merry Christmas.
Darling, thank you so much. Lucasfilm wanted to tell you thank you, and all the people who brought you the sequel trilogy. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution to
X-Wing.
Thank you.
guys are top tier. Some of the best work we've seen in Star Wars. Thank you, guys. I'm joking, of course. I'm pulling up the next article. Hold on.
Do it.
All right, here you go. This is our lineup. Speaking of having a better year for 2023, here's your full roster for Star Wars when it comes to 2023. We've got Bad Batch, Season 2, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, Ahsoka, Visions, The Mandalorian, and Skeleton Crew. Can you list these off 1 to, 6? What's your 1 to 6?
I'm going to say that this might surprise some people. Heck, I think it surprises me. I am about the same for Mando 3 and Ahsoka. They're both kind of one to me, and I think it's because not knowing what's going to happen in Ahsoka, I feel like the ceiling for Ahsoka, it could be higher than The Mandalorian Season 3 because we already know so much about Mando Season 3. We already know what's going down. We don't know what's going down in Ahsoka. There's going to be a lot of new ground. And that show could blow us out of the water. It really could. So I'm actually going to go, as much as I am a fan of Mando, and Mando is the heartbeat of the franchise right now, I'm going to say Ahsoka is my 1A and Mando is my 1B. Now, after that, it's kind of easy. Skeleton Crew because it's live action. Visions because it does not have Omega. Bad Batch, and I will not touch Young Jedi Adventures with your ding dong.
I better get watch parties for Young Jedi Adventures. If I don't get watch parties, I'm unsubscribing. No more membership, no nothing. I want Young Jedi watch parties.
Have no interest in that.
So
look, Yoda's gonna like eat a cookie and like cough or something. People's gonna be like, "It's not canon. It's not canon." You know, people are gonna be going crazy about that. You know.
So to anybody watching who doesn't know, the Young Jedi Adventures is literally, it's written for preschoolers. I think they said, or kindergartners.
It is 100% for preschoolers. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do watch parties. If you don't want to do it, that's fine.
You got it. All you.
Well, I'll grow my channel. Ghost Rider with a 5 says, if the Trevorrow script got made, we wouldn't have a problem in the franchise we do now. Yeah, look, it's possible. I think things could have gone differently, but we also know that the first script that lands on the table, which is the one that we got, is not always the movie that gets made. So it's tough to justify that. I don't think the Trevorrow script, I don't think Duel of the Fates would have fixed everything that happened with the sequel trilogy. But boy, it would have been better for sure. Absolutely. Georgie Girl says, EU fans in the chat, raise your hands. I love the expanded universe. That would be my second pick. Instead of doing just Heir to the Empire, I would do an older story like Darth Bane or something from the Old Republic. I think that could drum up a lot of interest, man, because there is a lot of that pew pew. There's a lot of that crazy stuff, but there's also a bunch of, politics with the Sith and Darth Bane and how he handled everything, and it ties into, modern Star Wars, I'll call it, with the Sith and the Rule of Two and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Now look, I'm gonna tell you that looking at this page, I'm salty. I'm very salty right now.
Okay.
Because this is coming from Star Wars Newsnet.
Okay.
So I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell very many people this at all, but I applied for a writer's position with them, and they turned me down. They turned me down. And I sent in 2 articles, and it's not because I can't write. It's not because I can't write. I sent in 2 articles. One on the 2-year anniversary of Luke Skywalker, and one that they asked me to write about a certain story. So I did. And anyways, without going into too much into it, I pretty much got confirmation that the reason that they didn't want me on the team is because I'm a co-host at Echo Base Network.
What?
And I'm like, I want to help you guys, and I want to write articles. Like, I am a school teacher, and I enjoy doing that.
What the hell is even that?
In fact, I wouldn't even care if they paid me.
Yeah, I would pay you.
Yeah, they were. It was a paid position.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But they picked like 7 people to add to their team, and they told me they didn't want me. And I'm like, fine, I'll start my own
dude. Like
news conglomerate.
There are so many nuclear Star Wars, like nuclear take Star Wars channels out there. You guys have been so even for so long. I don't understand why they wouldn't want like even reporting. You know what I mean?
They even sent me an email saying, I'm really confused by you wanting to join us. The guy was like, you're bigger than we are. Why would you want to join our team?
And I'm like,
because it's not what we do. Making videos is grueling. You know, like I could write an article in 10 minutes.
Dude, making videos sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a chore.
Making videos sucks. It really does. It really does. It can be a drag. Okay, all right. I'm gonna do my pick 6 here. So, believe it or not, Mando still does hold the number 1 spot for me.
Okay.
The reason why is because Mando is gonna start to kind of pick up on some of the stuff that we saw at the end of Clone Wars. So we're gonna get some tie-ins to Clone Wars season 6, and I'm really excited for that. I 100% agree that Ahsoka, the ceiling is, it could be revolutionary. It could
be the best live action we've ever gotten.
Could totally be. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm going to take Skeleton at the number 3 because I don't know enough about it yet that it could be something good, but a bunch of kids lost in space. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the next, what's that freaking show called?
I'm on the hangar base, so I could say this because I'm not on my channel.
You gonna say bad words?
When Grand Admiral Thrawn walks in the room, people are going to lose their shit.
100%. I mean, that's my Luke Skywalker of bad guys, is Admiral Thrawn. I have spent so much fucking time with Admiral Thrawn.
It's gonna be like Cad Bane times 10 or more.
Yeah, Cad Bane he's not allowed at the table when we're talking about people like Admiral Thrawn. Like, absolutely not.
Get out of here.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like Admiral Thrawn is on a whole different. Like, you want to talk about like a villain that you have to nail perfectly? Thrawn better get nailed perfectly. And there's something really subtle that they need to do that I don't think they have a deft enough hand to actually accomplish, is that Thrawn isn't a villain.
Right.
He's not a villain. He never operated as a villain. He was on a mission, and there was nothing malicious about his character. And if I had to take a guess, I think they're going to treat him as a malicious entity, which is going to destroy his character. That's my thought.
Possible. Yeah.
Anyway, Skeleton Crew, it could be something. I don't know. It could be fun. Stranger Things. That's what I was thinking about. Stranger Things in space. That could be Skeleton Crew. I'm going to take Young Jedi Adventures over Visions because I abhor anime. And I'm going to see 36 people leave my chat right now.
Hey,
but I am not an anime guy.
I don't like the pod race, so there you go.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I'm just not an anime person. There were a couple cool things in the first Visions, but for the most part, like the extreme over-exaggeration of Star Wars totally turns me off. But, Yoda getting yelled at for some cookies, I'll do a watch party for sure. And then Bad Batch is kind of last on my list, which is going to piss a lot of people off too.
Now I am more excited about the Bad Batch with the whole supposedly darker tone of this season 2. Yeah. We're going to get a lot more Crosshair in his story and some dark episodes. That sounds great. I'm all for that. Like, I think we're getting some really good Bad Batch episodes this season.
Well, if
if that's true, and if Bad Batch is a lot darker, even though in the end of the trailer they're like, "Hey, parrots!"
I know exactly. I made that point this past weekend on the show. Yep.
If it is darker, then I think Lucasfilm is really going to have to take notice of the fact that people want more serious Star Wars content. Because if Andor did as well as it did, and at this point, I don't really know who to believe. I've been trying to watch ratings. The ratings are conflicting. I've been listening to Star Wars podcasts, and some people hate it and some people love it, and all these different things. It's such a confusing show to try to quantify how the fan base feels about it. But I would say it is definitely a darker tone. And if Bad Batch 2 is a much darker tone, then Lucasfilm has to look at this and be like, we need to start telling some more serious stories, like some very serious stories.
You know, it is so hard to have your finger on the pulse of what's happening right now with Andor and everything. I remember that early Book of Boba Fett when me and Nick did a review at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, whatever. And we were like, dude, this show blows. Like this was awful. And it felt like we were the only
conversations you and I had.
Yes.
I was like, Coach, you need to give it a chance. Episodes 1 and 2 were great.
I know. And so me and Nick come out ripping it apart and like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And it felt like we were the only people in the universe that day that gave it a negative review.
Yep.
And we were getting crapped on. Oh my!
Yeah.
Our
we
review
were getting it from everywhere.
Our review had 10,000 views that day, and all the comments
9,000 dislikes.
I went to war in the comment section that day at school. I gave kids worksheets, and I sat there to, oh, you mother, and I'm going to war all day. By when the 3 o'clock bell rang, I was exhausted.
This is what your tax dollars go to, folks.
So, anyways, in that moment, that's the first time me and Nick had ever felt like we were in the minority.
Yeah.
Now, as funny as the Book of Boba Fett went on, everybody kind of seemed to come over. I think me and Nick just kind of smelled it before everybody else or something. I don't know.
Episode 3, I was out. I was done. The second
I
I
remember.
saw the biker gang, I was done. I'm
Well,
like, nope.
what was funny is that me and Nick were like, this one was better than 1 and 2.
I hated it. Oh no, you'll be happy about that. Actually, that's really funny, Coach. Your soul must be in my office because one of my Power of the Force figures just fell into the trash.
Oh man, I hate that. That's funny though.
Yeah,
Don't worry, I'm sure he's in there at the bottom of the can doing push-ups.
Yeah, probably. So buff. They're so buff, dude. So yeah, it's going to be tough. Any of these, at this point now, what I've learned with Disney Star Wars, it is so difficult to be vocal early on. And for the longest time, everybody tells me, you need to watch the whole thing. You have to watch the whole thing. And I'm like, I can judge it on 2 episodes and see where this thing is going. I'm really starting to think you need to watch the whole thing because as good as they may make it, they can ruin it in the 3rd episode.
That's true.
No problem.
That's true.
No problem.
Well, and like it's kind of easy for a lot of these shows to start off well and then they kind of fizzle out. And I think the example for me would be Bad Batch. The first episode of the Bad Batch was one of the best.
Oh, dude, God tier animation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And get
That's
to see
how you do it.
Kanan Jarrus as a Padawan and Order 66 and all of that.
Depa Billaba. Yeah.
And then after that, it went down fast and stayed there.
Yeah. It was much more the serial. And it's so funny. I feel like the Star Wars fans' taste is always changing, right? We might be like, you should stick true to George's vision. We need more kind of serial Buck Rogers kind of content. And then they bring that out and they're like, that was shit. That's not what I meant. Give us a more serious story with continuity. And then they give us a serious story with continuity. And we're like, what are you doing?
There was a lot of cereal in Andor.
There was so much cereal in Andor. Cereal eating cereal. Stocking cereal Cyril. That's his name, man. Yeah, I don't know. There was so much about that show that had me conflicted. honestly. I said it in one of the first videos I made about it. No, it was the last video I made about it. I said I've been up and down on this thing more than like two toddlers on a seesaw with ADHD.
Yeah.
Just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm like, this is great, that's dumb. This is great, that's dumb. This is great, that's dumb. But what was really interesting to me was the toxic positivity backlash to people who had minor criticisms of the shows. One of them, the biggest Star Wars YouTuber out there, said, hey, I don't like the bricks and screws. And when I tell you it made it all the way to Facebook memes, it was out of the YouTube Star Wars circle. This was on Facebook. People were bitching about it. It blew my mind that you could be so upset about a small criticism about the show like that.
So somewhere along the way, it flipped. The whole social media, like, there was a time when the people who were getting attacked were the people who were loving it.
Yes.
And now it's, bro, I'm just trying to say I didn't like it. Well, you stupid mother, and people are attacking you personally and being vicious because you didn't like it. And I'm like, bro, I want to like it. I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
I don't,
We just had these weird, like, I think a lot of fans were expecting it to turn into an action show at some point. And then you'd get some super dope dude like Luthen ship scene when he's taking out the interdictor or the comms cruiser and just blows it apart. We're like, oh, sick. Mm-hmm. We finally got to see canon loading of TIE pilots into TIE fighters and launching out of a TIE. Like, like you said, there's some amazing moments there.
Mm-hmm. There is.
But overall, it left some fans wanting. And the fact that you could be mad at another fan for feeling like they left something wanting, I don't get it. That's a strong stance, bro. What do you think?
I like it. I like the confidence. That's the thing. It's like, I tend to have some faith in Favreau when he's directly involved. I have a lot of faith. Now, when he hands the ball off to Rodriguez and say, I'm just kind of an idea guy, you got it. That wasn't good.
That did not work out. And he's not taking that chance on this, dude. Mando season 3 is Favreau.
He's all over the writing credits. That's right. He's involved in all of it. And for that reason, I think we're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. Not surprised. I think we're going to be pleased. There's a lot of people that are saying, they're voicing the concern that, well, in this one, we're not going to be as planet hopping around. The setting is going to be more stagnant. They're just going to be on Mandalore. I'm okay with that. Give us a unique season. That's okay. And they might be setting something up. They better be setting something up bigger than, but Mando season 2, there's not a Mandalorian season that I'm unhappy with.
Right.
And it's the best live action. Like, man, I love all Star Wars fans, so nobody get it twisted. But when people say Star
Wars fans, I don't like.
It's just like when I said I didn't like the pod race, and you looked at me like, "Are you serious? How?" That's how I feel when people say that Andor's better than the Mandalorian. I'm like, I don't see that at all. But because you think that, I respect that. I just don't see it.
It's apples and oranges, though. Completely different story. Completely different style of storytelling. Completely different story. And I don't know that you can really put the two up next to each other and say, this one's better than the other. They have different reasons. I think the visual effects, the way they handled the props, the way they called back to the original 6 movies in Mandalorian is handled way better than Andor.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something serious to have to actually sit there and chew on, Andor does it way better than Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm sitting there watching Mandalorian, I will never forget. Oh wait, no, my God, that was Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it?
But it was probably the Mandalorian episodes.
It was the Mandalorian episode, yeah. It was the one when he builds the N1. And remember, he picks up the stick, and it's the stick they use to try to stop the trash compactor.
Yeah.
And he's building his N1, and then he runs the Boonta Eve Classic in the N1. And if you had never seen the original movies, you would never know any of those things.
That's
It
right.
just happens.
Now I like pod racing. Let's go.
To me, that's the right kind of fan service. It should never be overt and blatant and in your face. The way that they did it was just so perfect. And then you go to Andor, and it's like, yeah, you get cool stuff in the background, but I don't feel like there was really that real immersive aspect. I don't know. It's really tough to say. A lot of people say that it didn't feel like watching Star Wars. I don't know that I agree with that completely. But
look at the bottom at everything Star Wars comment at 9:30. They said it is passion. When you root for a team, you argue. So here's and I agree with that. And here's what I'll say about it. As long as Star Wars fans are arguing and having this debate and having this conversation, and we're doing these streams and we're talking about it, we're good. It's when people stop talking about it, Star Wars is in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a God's honest truth. I mean, I've said it a million times. If they ruin it enough, and they're Kenobi got me real close, brother. Like, Kenobi got me real close because
dude, how many times do we have to see Darth Vader take an ass whooping?
Not only that,
and it's gonna happen again in Ahsoka.
Already having a pre-established story that's way better than what you did and just completely fucking ignoring it. Like, why would you do that?
Darth Vader in the suit does not need to be getting beaten by anyone.
Right. Well, and people will say, well, look what he did to Kenobi. He drug him through the fire and blah, blah, blah. There's always a statement to argue against why you feel the way you do as a Star Wars fan. And it drives me nuts sometimes, because why can't you just be like, I get it, bro. What is so hard about just being like, yeah, I get it for sure. That could be rough if that's the way you feel. I don't know. God, I want to pick it up. How long have we been going?
I don't know. An hour and 20 minutes.
Nice. Not too bad.
Yay.
What's up, Moni G?
What is up, Moni?
Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I guess in the end all be all at this point, I'm just standing on the train tracks, waiting to see what happens.
We are, and we'll call it how we see it, and people will talk about it, and but I want Star Wars that Star Wars that drops at 2:00 in the morning, and I want to get up to watch it, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing at 3:00 in the morning on a live stream. I didn't feel that with Andor.
Yeah.
I didn't get up.
I didn't do watch parties for Andor. No.
Mm-mm.
No, I didn't. But there, I mean, look at, Coffee on Korriban. Tim,
yeah.
Dude, his channel went from like 200 subscribers to like 2,000.
I know.
Just from doing Andor content. So there's love
because
there.
he made content for the audience.
Yeah.
And
I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that.
Yeah. My problem with that is Samuel Kim.
Samuel Kim.
I keep getting copyrighted on him.
Use Closed on Sunday when you're making your Star Wars videos.
Use what?
Do you know Closed on Sunday? Closed on Sunday? Okay, so like this is one of my favorite ones here.
Is it a channel?
Yeah. It's the Ewok celebration, but it's lo-fi.
All right.
And then he Yoda's theme.
So he doesn't mind if you use it?
Give him credit.
Done. Subscribed.
Yeah. Guys, make some. Actually, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but yeah, Closed on Sunday. Like, if I'm studying, if I'm doing anything Star Wars related, I put it on my Bluetooth and I just bump it. It's all kinds of Star Wars stuff. He does a really good Indiana Jones lo-fi. the Indiana Jones lo-fi. I'll put that on. I'll be golfing. I'll stick it in my ears. It's an hour-long loop, and I just play Indiana Jones lo-fi when I'm golfing.
Nice. Cool.
Good stuff. All right. Well, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. Anything you want to talk about before we go? You want to get anything collectible off your mind?
I don't really have anything, man. I just sold a ton of stuff. I need to take a break from all that, honestly. I've been working so hard.
I need to get into it. I need to start selling some of my stuff.
Yep. I bought a huge Nintendo collection, like a bunch of boxed games. And wow, I had to get rid of it all. Like, so it's gone now, and I'm glad. But
I feel like that's a perfect sign out. Coach, you want to do it for me?
Sure. Guys, thank you for being here at X-Wings Hangar Bay. I have been honored to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of this awesome community. X-Wing is one of the very best Star Wars leaders that you are ever going to find on YouTube, and I am honored to call him friend. As we always say over on our channel, EBN, we are, you are, Echo Base Network. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you guys on the next one.